everyone is wondering what Konami will import. With the Animation Chronicles coming out this June, everyone is wondering what Konami will import from the anime. I got a separate video giving my predictions, but there's one archetype in particular that I've seen a lot of hype for, and that's Lightning's Armistice Legio deck.
Okay.
For those who don't know, Lightning is the main villain of Yu-Gi-Oh! Reigns, and he plays a Roman-based deck, something that people want badly. So in this video, I'll be giving my thoughts if Konami will print Armistice Legio. Without any more intros, let's just jump into this, shall we? Okay, so do I think Konami will print Armistice Legio? My answer is a maybe. While I would personally love this deck to be printed, there is one question I have, and I think some others have discussed this, and that's how will Konami print Judgment Arrows? This card is what the entire deck revolves around, and to this day, Konami has never printed it, and I would not be surprised if they nerfed the card from the anime. You see, the problem I think Konami has with Judgment Arrows isn't exactly the effect, but it's link markers.
Yeah, links.
What do I mean by that? Well, I think the biggest reason why Konami didn't give us Judgment Arrows during Master Rule 4 was that it would go against what Master Rule 4's purpose was. And that was to stop people from extra deck spamming with Fusion, Synchro, and Xyz monsters unless they had a Link monster first. So they feared that if people had played Judgment Arrows, they can bypass that restriction. Hell, with Pendulums, if Judgment Arrow is out, can you Pendulum summon to zones that it points to? As for Master Rule 4,
I would think so. Yeah, I would think so. That you would, if you put this in the middle, you can just pen to those zones. I would assume so.
5, I feel like they still fear the rulings that Judgment Arrows might possibly bring for the long term of Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, I know a lot of people will say that all the things I mentioned would never happen, but I feel like in general, Konami didn't want to take a chance by releasing Judgment Arrows due to the possible ruling issues. Now, I'm not saying it's all doom and gloom, but I have heard some possibilities that people have suggested on how they can release Armistice Legio. The first one is that Konami will print Armistice Legio, but rework the entire archetype without Judgment Arrows. This could be a good idea, however, Konami at times likes to be faithful to the anime. While they do buff anime cards, they still want them to be played like the way the characters used them. An example would be the Advanced Crystal Beast. In the anime, they blew up if Advanced Dark is not in the field, and Konami kept that effect in. So, I don't think they'll print Armistice Legio without Judgment Arrows. The second one is that they'll make Judgment Arrows a continuous spell. Honestly, I can see that happening, and the way I can see it working is that it can only be activated if a Link monster is in the main monster zone, and it doubles the attack points of all your Link monsters when they battle. So, this might be the best idea, as it would be less of a ruling nightmare for Konami. Though, one thing I will say is that Konami might not even print Armistice Legio this year, as there are 2 other archetypes I believe who have a higher chance of being printed. The first is Blood Shepherd's Drones. You see, back in 2020, Konami hosted a...
I was just watching Reigns a little while ago, chat. Dude, this deck is, other than it having this stupid fusion, the helicopter, this deck is actually so cool. Like, I really like this deck.
Poll to see whose deck would get printed, and Drones came in 4th place.
Yeah, Drones is cool.
As for the first 3 places, Fossil's already won, Sun Avalon got printed eventually, and the Wicked Gods got some of their cards. All that's left now is Drones, and Konami in previous poll end up using the 4th place for something. An example would be the Trap Tricks, who came 4th place in a structure deck poll, and look, now they got their own structure deck. So, it's possible that Drones have the highest chance of being printed in this year's Animation Chronicles, in my opinion. The second archetype that I think has a higher chance of being printed is Wendy's Storm Rider.
Yeah, that's Wendy's deck.
What gives Wendy a higher chance than Lightning, in my opinion?
I don't
well,
this.
It's easier for Konami to print Storm Rider since they don't have to rely on a confusing card like Judgment Arrows. All they have to do is just buff the cards from the anime, which they can definitely do.
That fusion
by the way,
stupid.
while we're at it, if Konami prints Storm Riders, they gotta put some restrictions on Storm Rider Griff 4. If this card is printed without any restrictions, I have a bad feeling that everyone will play it.
Hold on. If your opponent controls a monster in their monster zone, okay, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is in your hand and there are no cards on the field, you can look at your opponent's hand. And if they have a spell and trap, set one of them to their field. And if you do, oh my god, what the fuck? Yo! I only remember Wendy having one duel, and that was a get. What the fuck? This This is stupid. So because I was like, well, it's just a go second card. No, if you go first, you just look at your opponent's entire. Oh, you have that nib. Cool. We're gonna play around nib. Look at your opponent's hand, and if they have a spell, dude, even if they don't have a spell and trap, you still got to see their entire hand. This is insane for just like a generic combo. Oh my god. I don't remember this card at all. I feel like maybe he used it. I definitely don't remember that.
Basically, you get to
look at the best card. I don't know if it's the best. And also, so with cards like Baron de Floor, chat, you have very practical ways. Let's say your opponent has like thrusting or talents in their hand. You set the talents, and then you just make a card like Baron that can pop a card, and you just pop the talents. And like you got to see their entire hand, you got the special summon, and you took away that card. Yo, this
your
card
opponent's
is
hand, rip one of their
it's a once per duel
and get a free body on the board.
No wonder.
Yeah, he's a once per duel, but that's still a lot of advantage.
Oh my god, they made him a once per duel, chat. Anytime you see, it used to be anytime you saw this effect in Yu-Gi-Oh, it was probably like a ban-worthy card, you know what I mean, or a card that would be on like the FNL list. Twin-headed behemoth. Whenever you see once per duel, I think is glow up bulb once per duel, or am I crazy? I feel like maybe not. I feel like glow up bulb might be once per duel. Anyways,
especially
yeah. Okay, there you go. Glow up bulb. Yeah.
Looking and ripping cards out of your opponent's hands have been problematic since DM, so they gotta restrict this card in some way. Also, I know he sets the cards, but let's be real, most likely your opponent's going to get rid of that card, especially if they're going turn 1. Hopefully, if he does get printed, he'll just say you can't summon monsters except Storm Riders, so that way he can't be abused by everyone.
Okay.
Anyways, that aside, we're moving on.
Ooh, I don't know.
You're probably wondering why I didn't suggest Hydra Drives.
Okay.
Well, I got a video on them coming soon, whether or not Konami will print them, so be on the lookout. Overall, while I do want to see Konami print Armatus Legio, I do understand that Judgment Arrows might pose a problem in printing that archetype, but who knows, maybe they will print them one day. Well, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.
Oops. Sorry, you guys didn't come
with the animation.
Okay, I liked it. It was short, sweet, to the point. I don't know why my like didn't stay on the video. Short, sweet, to the point. I know a little bit about the Vrains decks that come after Season 2, chat. I don't know a ton about Lightning's deck just because I never saw Lightning Duel. Obviously, I know about Adagnister because they printed that and it became like an actual meta deck. You know what I mean? So, like, you know about Adagnister. We know about Marincess. Same thing. These are decks that actually became meta IRL. Drones is super cool. As I said, they're... True boss monster is a helicopter. It's a fusion. It's actually super stupid. It's like a gigantic waste of resources. I was kind of mad they even made that card. But I guess Judgment Arrows. So I completely agree, chat. I don't think that there was any way that they were going to print Judgment Arrows during Master Rule 4 unless... What was the last set, chat, of Master Rule? It was Eternity Code, I believe. The one with access code on it. That would have been the only way that I could have made. Like, maybe you print it at the very end of Reigns when it's like, all right, it doesn't matter. We're going to the next era anyways. We're going to switch it over. But, like, I guess the set that this card should have been in, if they were going to print the, like, Lightning's cards would have been, I don't know, like Rising Rampage or something like that. They weren't going to print this card then because it just would have caused too many problems. Battles of Legends, they also have a broken hand trap. Hydro Drives need a full rework. I do think Vrains does have a lot of archetypes that they could print. I think probably one of them will be in this new Animation Chronicle. Because Animation Chronicle, chat, is Battles of Legends. Am I correct? You know what I mean? And like, hold on. So we're in March. That means that we get the cards in July, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, okay. Animation Chronicle is Battles of Legends for us, for TCG. Oh, Spore is also a hard once per turn. And Spore's been banned also. Or excuse me, not once per turn, once per duel. Yeah, it used to be, chat, anytime you saw once per duel, it generally meant like the card's broken. It's a twin-headed behemoth. It's a glow-up bulb. It's a spore type card. It's a card that's like gonna be on the FNL list at some point because it has an effect that's like insanely powerful. But that Storm Rider card, like that's If they printed that card, chat, with like no restrictions, exactly how it would, like, that card would be stupid. Just letting your opponent see your entire hand is nuts. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. Negate that effect. Wow. This is Chad, is this actually just a meta 3 of? Like, is this just better effect Veiler? I mean, this is just effect Veiler, basically. Except it works during either player's turn, and it also doesn't work on just field card. It works graveyard, like anywhere. Well, yeah, I think this is just better effect Veiler. Like, I get that it doesn't last for the entire turn, but as I said, this could hit cards from the hand, it could hit cards from the graveyard, and it works during both players' turns. This is just like, if they printed this would actually power creep effect Veiler. Unfortunate that it's not a tuner, but it's from Vrain, so you know.